how can you transition the iteration and agility that we see in DevOps to other parts of an organization?
One of the things that we see with organizations that move well or have adopted agile practices first and then moved on to DevOps and those sorts of things is that building momentum and building successes generates a lot of enthusiasm across other points of the company, of an organization, particularly in things like product development and marketing, where they're internally focused and externally focused, looking for what's the next piece of this product that's going to be good, and you see a more enthusiasm there for getting new product features online, getting things developed quickly, working through those sorts of more agile and more accelerated timelines and things like that. Certain aspects of the company, a lot more conservative. They're not, going to start changing financial practices, things like that.
Sure. Agile finance, right?
Agile finance would be very interesting.
Right. I think we did that and got in trouble with it.
I think maybe.
Yeah, that might have been
just a little bit. Right. But definitely in product management and marketing, sales are ready to be able to talk about new features much more quickly and have that conversation with customers.
Do you think that technical groups should view themselves as change agents?
There is a lot of support for that. I mean, especially in sort of the way the internet and social networking and those sorts of not just company aspects but cultural aspects have sort of brought new avenues online for talking to customers, having a conversation about a product, building sort of momentum around those sorts of things.
How do you manage patience amidst change?
Oh.
Both in anticipation of the change and also kind of the anxiety that change brings.
Yeah, you have to communicate with your team. You have to let them know exactly what's going on and give people, you have to take some of the uncertainty out of it for them. Over communication almost never happens. Much more tendency to under communicate but think we're over communicating. Like, I'm pretty sure I told them that, and in fact it didn't really get across. Right. And turning communication into a two-way conversation rather than a one-way, just an executive at a podium talking about something, having town halls and allowing people to ask questions and have them feel that their concerns are being addressed.
A memo's not going to cut it.
Memo is not going to cut it.
Right. Last question for you, and it's kind of broadening this a little bit. Is it getting easier to explain the value proposition of performance and optimization to the business side? I know that's been an issue.
It has been an issue, and I would love to say that I think that it's improving, and I think in certain pockets it is. Like, we see a lot of, particularly now around mobile, because mobile is sort of it's a new area for a lot of places, and they're ready to say, okay, well, here's an established practice, rather than web performance and sort of websites and things where everybody sort of already had something before we started talking about it. So it's one of those, it's almost you could say it's a generational thing. The first generation websites, it's sometimes people are more reluctant to put that much effort into incremental changes and incremental improvements. But when they look at mobile and they say, well, this is a whole new thing. This is like magical unicorn in my hand, and it has to be super fast. And they're much more willing to talk about that than they are, changing something that's already old and good enough.
Right.
When things are good enough and customers aren't leaving in hordes, it's really hard to persuade people that there's some benefit to be obtained by making some performance changes.
Interesting. Well, thanks so much for being with us.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.